surviving in the vacuum of space, immortality, and self-replication. This episode of Terra Talk. Welcome back to Terra Talk, the show that reads the internet so you don't have to. I'm Travis Turcotte.
And I'm Matt Slowikowski. Today we're going to be talking to you about 5 of the most resilient creatures this planet has to offer.
Let's get into it. First up on today's list is the West African lungfish. This bad boy, one tough cookie, virtually unchanged for 400 million years. There's even a story where a scientist was transporting one in an airtight, sealed container for study. Well, they lost that container for 6 months. Found it 6 months later. Opened it up expecting a rotten fish. What they got? A living West African lungfish. Add water, all good.
How can it survive in such a dry climate?
You tell them.
So the West African lungfish lives in sub-Saharan Africa and eats both plants and animals. It's an omnivore. When the riverbeds start drying up, this guy burrows down, eating the mud underneath the riverbed and excreting it through its gills. It creates a cocoon underneath the riverbed using its own mucus and can survive up to 2 years in this cocoon. Unlike most animals that use fatty tissue to survive a hibernation period, this guy uses muscle tissue from its own tail. Next up we have the Planarian worm, which is a type of flatworm that's found almost everywhere in the world, including freshwater and saltwater. Fossil records have dated this guy back to over 200 million years. What makes this puppy so special? It has regenerative powers that would make even Wolverine jealous.
Just how good are the regenerative properties of this worm? Let me tell you. They're able to cut off pieces of a worm about 1/300th of its size and grow an entirely new worm. Heads growing tails, tails growing heads. They were able to make thousands of copies of one worm just by cutting it in pieces. Just how does this worm keep healing itself? Well, quite simply put, stem cells. A lot of stem cells. And unlike human stem cells, their stem cells keep replicating over time, making it have no degenerative factor, so it can keep healing itself over and over and over again, earning it the nickname the unkillable worm.
Next we have one of the toughest mammals out there, rats. Maybe rats get a bad rep, but they are certainly an animal to contend with. They have an excellent sense of hearing and smell, and they can go longer without water than camels. These guys can fall 15 meters without injury. To put that into perspective, humans, after falling 10 meters, have a risk of death. Rats have expanded their habitats to match almost that of humans. That's not surprising though, considering they can chew through plastic, wood, and metal. They are very intelligent animals as well, being able to memorize very complex routes. Their intelligence is almost on par of that with dogs, despite having much smaller brains.
Next up, we have an animal on this list that has a claim to immortality, has found that fountain of youth. This 4mm wide jellyfish takes a page out of Benjamin Button's books and ages backwards, starting as adult and living its life until it's a polyp again. But unlike Benjamin Button, this fish does it over and over again. When this jellyfish is injured or hits a point of starvation, it transforms itself into a blob, all of its cells reverting to that of a juvenile. The only natural way to observe this thing dying is through contracting disease in the polyp stage of its life or being eaten. So, in theory, there could be a jellyfish out there thousands of years old. Because of the jellyfish's apparent immortality, it has been the subject to many studies. Specifically right now, the area of cancer research, because the jellyfish has an amazing ability for cellular repair. Last, but positively not least, an animal on this planet harder to kill than the T-1000 from Terminator 2. The Tardigrade, otherwise known as the water bear. This 1mm large cuddly creature can exist in almost any habitat this Earth can throw at it. From 14,000 feet below the ocean surface to 20,000 feet above in the Himalayas, this animal exists in water and most commonly on land, moss and tree bark, and got its name the water bear because the end of its arms are these claw-like hands that resemble that of a bear.
These little animals grow by a different mechanism than most other animals. They're actually born with all their adult cells, and rather than growing by cell division, they grow by simply expanding the cells that they have. They've been on this planet for over 500 million years, outstripping even dinosaurs. Tough does not even begin to describe these guys. They can survive in temperatures below 1 Kelvin, minus 458 degrees Fahrenheit, and up to temperatures of 300 degrees Fahrenheit. They can survive without water for up to 10 years and can even survive the vacuum of space. How do they do this? They can replace almost all the water in their bodies with a type of sugar and can slow their metabolisms down to 0.03% of normal.
The tardigrade is also 1,000 times more resistant to radiation than that of a human being, making it, bar none, the most resilient, toughest creature on this planet. Which means it could be the basis for the next big superhero Hollywood blockbuster movie. Young teenager gets bitten by a radioactive tardigrade? Why bear man, anyone? And there you have it, 5 of the most resilient creatures we could find. We know there are more out there. We did try to interview Honey Badger, but he simply didn't give a shit.
If you have any other animals you think can make this list, put them in the comments below, or if you have any questions, put them there as well. Hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.